Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you could donate to my ministry and the charities that I support at garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. The United Nations report confirms Hamas is controlling Gaza with murder, torture and a fear-based rule. Report ultimately blames Israel even for Hamas's brutality, compares it to settler violence. A United Nations report has confirmed what Israel and Palestinian activists have claimed for a long time. Hamas is brutally oppressing the Palestinian population in the Gaza Strip, enforcing its rule by instilling fear through public murder and torture of alleged criminals and dissidents. The news report was presented to the United Nations Human Rights Council on Tuesday by the Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the Occupied Palestinian Territory and Israel. Its central conclusion is that Palestinians in Judea and Samaria and the Gaza Strip are subjected to severe violation of human rights law by all parties to the region's conflict. The report lists alleged abuses by Israeli settlers next to abuses committed by Hamas terrorists, suggested an equality between the two groups. It ultimately blames Israel even for Hamas's brutality. Hamas affiliated forces have exploited the vacuum created by relentless Israeli attacks and widespread destruction of Gaza, said Surin Ivasan Mir Aliadar, chair of the commission. Sounds like a good person to be the chair of the commission. What is alarmingly similar is the deliberate infliction of suffering on Palestinian civilians. While their origins and motivations differ, both settlers and Hamas operate within environments engineered by Israel, he said. The reports also allege that settler violence functions as a means of implementing Israeli state policy, with both the state and violent settler groups working towards the same strategic objectives. Entrenchment of Israeli settlements, annexation of Palestinian territory, and displacement of Palestinians from their land. Despite the biased framing, the report details some of the abuses committed by Hamas against its own population. Between 24 and 25, the Commission listed 249 cases of extrajudicial executions and severe physical violence against civilians by Hamas affiliated militants, which resulted in at least 108 deaths and 384 injuries. The incidents amount to war crimes of murder and torture and abuses of international human rights and humanitarian law, it noted. These cases involved executions, kneecapping, bone breaking with metal pipes or cement bricks, and beatings, and were framed by the perpetrators as punishment for alleged collaboration with Israel, looting humanitarian aid, theft, drug-related offences, or affiliations with internal rivals. The report said forces directly controlled by the Hamas organisation were involved in at least 60 of the incidents, the report said, including public executions of 11 men. However, the group also exercises overarching control over the area, making it ultimately responsible for the abuses there. The Commission noted that Hamas's military wing, its plainclothes Saham unit, and the new Rads force, which is meant to suppress crime and target perceived collaborators and rival factions, were the key units involved in the crackdowns. However, allied groups like the Palestinian Islamic Jihad and the Mujahideen brigades were also involved. Private information about many of the victims' identities was published online, including full names and addresses, a practice known as doxing, exposing victims and their families to the risk of further violence, stigma and social exclusion, the report said. The Commission is gravely alarmed by the severity and public nature of the Hamas punitive measures in Gaza, which inflict profound trauma on the already severely traumatised civilian population, said Mudahadar. The report also confirmed long-standing Israeli claims that Hamas uses hospitals and schools, citing witnesses, including Doctors Without Borders, who said that the Saham unit beat and shot people in several hospitals. It also noted the systemic public torture of children accused of crimes and that children were spectators in 27 publicly staged incidents of violent punishment. This exposure results in normalising extreme violence, desensitising children to it, and sustaining a climate of fear. Please take a moment and join others who are praying for Israel at this very moment by adding your light on the live prayer map with a simple click at prayforisrael.live. And whenever you're praying for Israel, also remember the Palestinian people who are also suffering under a genocidal organisation known as Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, which are all Iran's proxies. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem and all Israel, and for the peace of the Jewish people. Shalom, Maranatha, Hallelujah, and God bless the Palestinians.